If you want to sell 3D prints for profit but don't know how to price your 3D prints, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. You first need to understand the 5 major expenses that you will incur when it comes to 3D printing anything. First is filament costs, which includes filaments and other miscellaneous expenses like screws, magnets, or anything you typically would in 3D prints. Keep in mind this also includes any additional accessories that you need in order to make a product. Second is electricity costs. Now, truthfully, this will depending on your region, the type of 3D printer, and what filament you're using, and in addition, whether you're paying for electricity or if you're renting and not paying for electricity, even better. But let's just pretend you're not. In order to get a guesstimate as to how much electricity will cost for you in your area, you would want to look for the average within your area and then calculate that based off of how many hours you're going to take to print an item. Then you need to get how much wattage your printer will be using, usually anywhere between 80 to 150, which does vary, but you can also buy a meter for a more accurate measurement. Third is labor costs. Now, keep in mind, if you're paying yourself a salary or even paying yourself at all, then you need to consider the amount of time and energy it takes to print something, to package it up, and then to prepare it to have it shipped out to a customer, which does take time. So if you're paying yourself, let's just say $20 an hour, and it takes you 5 minutes to prepare and package it up, well, that means that's going to cost you around $2 in just labor costs just to package, clean up, and even finalize a printed product. Then there is shipping costs, which is another expense. Now, you will need to pay for shipping materials such as boxes, labels, and paper, but there also is the mailing expense, which either you or your customer will pay for. If you're paying for this, then you'll likely have to put that expense into your product cost, but if your customer is paying for it, well, that can offset the cost just a little bit, but most customers don't want to pay for shipping. Then there is processing fees. Here you have Etsy, eBay, Shopify, or wherever you're planning to sell. Each platform has a variety of processing fees, which does take quite a bit of money, especially if you're selling in volume or if you're selling a lot. So for beginners, if you're selling on Etsy, you're going to be paying one of the highest processing fees, especially since Etsy does take quite a bit of a cut from your printed designs. But if you're selling on Shopify and you're able to pay the monthly cost for this, you can actually pay a lot less in processing fees, making you more money over time and actually saving you more money on your back end. Once you have your expenses calculated and jotted down, then you're going to want to subtract your product cost minus your expenses, and that will leave you with your gross profit, which is the money left over before you pay yourself and any other miscellaneous expenses. Keep in mind, these are just the major expenses, and it truly depends on what printed products you sell and the way you go about selling it. If you want a dedicated worksheet to help you track these numbers and show you exactly what you're making on the front and back end for your 3D printed products, make sure to check out 3D Printing School with link in bio.